A Maricopa County judge ruled last week that Arizona is violating the state constitution by not satisfying constitutional standards in funding K-12 school facilities. Specifically, the judge ruled that the state legislature has not appropriated enough to pay for the, quote, proper maintenance of educational institutions. Joining us now is Danny Edelman. He's the executive director of the Arizona Center for Law in the Public Interest. Danny, good to see you. It's been a while since you've been on the show.
It has been a while. Thanks for having me.
But this lawsuit, it's been around a while, and it's been around a while in kind of different connotations, correct?
It has. We filed this case in 2017, so it has taken us 8 years to get here. But this case actually follows up on a case that we brought and won back in the 90s, more than 30 years ago.
Yeah, that was the biggie, and that had lasted a long time. Okay, talk about the lawsuit, talk about what the judge ruled and why.
So our Arizona Constitution requires the state to adequately fund public schools. And a big part of what they need to operate is capital. So people call it the facilities lawsuit, and that's right, because a lot of what it has to do with are facilities. But capital is even broader than that. It's curriculum, it's technology, it's buses. It's all those things. And the state was just completely failing to fund those needs. So if you live in a poor district where they couldn't really pass bonds or couldn't pass enough bonds to keep your facilities in good shape, you were probably falling way behind and having all kinds of problems. If you were in a wealthy district with voters that would pass bonds, your schools might be in pretty good shape. But this disparity and this failure to make sure that every student has the ability to go to a really decent, good school. That's what our Constitution requires, and that's what they weren't doing.
Yeah, the judge ruled that the system is unconstitutional. It has to provide a general and uniform school system. And as you described, that bond issue was a big part of this ruling. It seemed like that was a big focus here because it really does mean two separate systems.
It does. I mean, what the Supreme Court said a long time ago is it's the state, under our Constitution, it's the state's responsibility to provide the basics of everything you need to have a good school. Part of that is basic stuff, air conditioning, roofs that don't leak on kids, safe buses, those kinds of things. And if a district wants to bond for quote unquote bells and whistles, if they want to have a great performing arts center, they can do that. If the voters are willing to tax themselves for that, that's okay. But the basics the state has to provide, and they weren't doing it.
And again, the judge, Arizona not paying for, the quota here is proper facility maintenance. What is deemed proper? What you just described, just the basics?
So it's the basics of what you need for a good school, a school that lets kids learn, a good environment for learning. So what the state has to do under the Constitution is come up with, well, what does that mean? It certainly means like weather tight and good air conditioning. It means those things, and it means other things. What kind of technology? What kind of curriculum? Those are all the things that are the basics. And then establishing those things is one part, and then providing funding so that all Arizona schools can meet those. That's the second part. And the third part is the system itself can't create disparity. And our system failed all of those parts.
I was going to back to the second part, that Arizona also has to pay for the, quote, development and improvement of these school facilities in general. Development and improvement means what? Just show me you're doing something?
Well, I mean, so the Supreme Court came up with a test, right? So in the first case, the question was, is this a state responsibility? Yes. So then the legislature kind of nibbled around the edges, didn't fix the problem. This is back in the 90s. We sued again. Then the Supreme Court said, no, here's what you have to do. For this to be meaningful, here's what you have to do. You have to set standards, and then you have to make sure there's enough funding. And you can't have a system that causes disparity. And so those are the tests. That is what the judge applied and considered a mountain of evidence from districts all over the state. And it's horrible. I mean, if you look at some of the things, water systems where the water in a school was so toxic that not only could the kids not drink it, they couldn't wash their hands in it. They had to boil water, put it in coolers outside the bathrooms so that the kids could wash their hands. Those kinds of things, roofs that leak for years and years to where all kinds of other damage occurs, exist throughout the state. The state knows it. There's hundreds of millions of dollars right now in deficiencies the state knows about, and they just have to tell schools, the agency that's in charge of this, well, we just don't have the money to fix it.
What has been the state's argument? I mean, what is the state saying in response to this and competition and contention with this?
Well, part of it is, I think there's just this, you can't tell us what to do courts thing that's going on. Not really a good legal defense. And then there's more, like they're trying to blame the school districts. And they're saying, well, you could have spent your money on something else. You didn't have to pay your teacher that much. You could have paid your teacher something less, and then you could have fixed your own roof. None of those arguments are persuasive, and that's what the judge ruled.
So bottom line here, how big a deal is this ruling?
Oh, this is a huge deal. This was an enormous case. We had something like 80 different witnesses appeared either in trial or by deposition, and hundreds of thousands of pages of exhibits. And the amount that the state has taken away from schools is somewhere in the $6 to $7 billion range. Just in capital funding, and just since they fixed the system the first time and then started dismantling it. It's a big deal.
Oh, so it's a big deal. What realistically changes? I know that I think the legislative leaders have already told, I think ABC 15 or some other media outlets here, they're going to go ahead and challenge this. They're going to appeal. If they lose the appeal, let's just go that far. What realistically changes?
Oh, a lot. I mean, the last time we won this case, the last time they appealed, the last time they lost, the state spent around $1.5 billion to fix up schools. And that was in 1998, 2000, 2001 dollars.
Yeah.
The state knows there are these hundreds of millions of dollars of problems. So, yeah, they've said they're going to appeal and they have that right. What they should do is they should read this opinion. Do they really want, like a lot of these legislators are from rural areas, do they really want their kids to be exposed to that? We should work together, the governor, the legislature, us, and come up with a system that fixes this. They know how to fix it. They fixed it before. They can do it again, and that's what we ought to do.
Danny Adelman, Arizona Center for Law in the Public Interest. Good conversation. Good to see you again.
Good to see you. Thank you.